Gund wants to know, lobbying for T-140, 140, SPRUT, S-400 and AK-203, an effort to appease Russia so that they don't sell to China and Pakistan. Is Bipin Rawat a politician in uniform?
I didn't get that jumble. What AK-203
What he's saying is India
it's just buying Russian arms. You have to buy Russian arms because you need to keep them from selling weapons to China and Pakistan. So
Right.
it doesn't matter how third-rate Russian weapons become. They're not all third-rate weapons. Some of them are extremely good weapons. So, for example, the T-14 Armata might be good. I mean, we don't know because Russian metallurgy is quite far behind now. But it might be a good tank just in terms of the fact that it's got a remote turret and all of that. But look, you have to buy Russian weapons. Unless you're willing to recommit completely, and given the political changes in America, this is a ship that sailed. You had 30 years to do it, you did not do it, and now you're essentially paying the price for not having reoriented and gotten the technologies that you can, and then you blame some imaginary foreign nexus because India is such a powerful country that they're allowing China to rise, they're allowing Japan to rise, they're allowing South Korea and Taiwan to rise, but they're actually really scared of India, so they're preventing India from rising, as opposed to blaming your own stupidity of the last 30 years. That's fine, but remember, beggars can't be choosers. And in this case, if this rich man who's offering you only vegetarian food as opposed to, imagine Mukesh Ambani drives past your home every day in his Rolls Royce and he throws a leg of tandoori chicken at you, which you love, once a week. The problem is the auntie who goes in the auto, she keeps throwing sambar rice at you every day. So you have to eat the sambar rice to show gratitude, otherwise your daily sambar rice will be lost for that once a week leg of tandoori chicken that gets tossed at you. So today we're in the sambar rice situation. That is our relationship with America, okay? Because you don't want auto wali auntie giving that potli of sambar rice to the neighboring beggar or the other beggar by you. It's basically that is the situation, okay? And Bipin Rawat, the less said the better. He was never a good chief of army staff. I think after those comments, the very fact he continues to remain in his position shows you how unserious this government is about national security.
Venkatrama Muthuswamy wants to know, why is Indian diplomacy not working well with China?
Mostly because it's compromised. You've asked me this question several times. I don't know why it comes up every week. My answer isn't going to change. It's primarily because, every time I go to Beijing, they're like, are you trying to make fools out of us? Because when they see the foreign ministry, their foreign ministry is irrelevant. Their own foreign ministry is treated like a joke. If you look at the way their so-called foreign secretary is treated by army generals, it'll actually make you cringe. They treat them like waiters. So because the military controls most of it. Now Xi Jinping controls it, but traditionally. And what happens there is they tell us, your foreign ministry is more loyal to us than our foreign ministry is. But your army is extremely anti-Chinese. So they think we are playing this, like Pakistan plays this game where they condemn terrorism but then support terrorism financially and militarily. They think we're playing this game where the foreign ministry is trying to go out of its way to protect China, where the military is going out of its way to crush China. Well, they're not very good at crushing China, but whatever, for what it's worth. So they think we are being deceitful and dishonest. And the other issue, of course, is that our foreign ministry never understands China. Okay, they don't have immersive training on China. Just speaking the Chinese language doesn't mean you understand China. We've not had people who have been able to correctly gauge China starting with Nehru, of course. People have not been able to read China very well. Very few countries have. I think only Burma is the one country that's been able to read China accurately. The Japanese are the other end of the spectrum. They're like the Indian military. They're paranoid about everything Chinese. You're having the middle of a tea ceremony with a Japanese person. You say China, they'll all drop their cups and take out their swords and go banzai.
Next question, Chaitanya
it
again.
just doesn't.
What are the characteristics that a country should have to be as close to a Chanakya state as possible? Is the USA a Chanakyan state according to you?
The USA was a Chanakyan state, so USA pre 2010, no, pre 2000 USA and post 2000 USA are like the transition from Samudragupta to Ashoka, of an extremely calculating, clear-headed state to a dim-witted, stupid socialist shithole.
And we can give that credit to Mr. Obama. He's the one who's running this government.
It started even before Obama, to be fair. Obama, allowed it to happen because it consolidated his personal power. Remember, Obama was also up against the Clinton machinery, right? So
Yes.
he had to allow these folks to kind of weaken her up and things like that. So it happened even before. It started under George Bush. The clearest example of that was the invasion of Iraq.
Malli Anumula, what is the reason for silent letters in English? Is this mistake made by English creator or any science behind this? Does this problem exist in other languages too?
Silent letters as in?
Knife, K is silent.
Oh, yeah. That's because English is, it isn't an organically developed language. It's taken from German, from Latin, so from the Germanic and from the Romance and from every other language. So when you do things like that, you have a lot of weird things happening with your language. So most of the silent is because you have a different kind of pronunciation from what was the original. So for example, Magna Carta, what we say Magna Carta in English, in Latin is actually Magna Carta. The GN is like the Sanskrit nya. But in some cases it completely loses, for example, psyche. In Greek it's written a different way, but in English you copy this thing, but the psyche starts with a P, so it should be psyche, but it's not the way you pronounce it. You don't say psyche, you don't say he's a psychopath, you say he's a psychopath. So why is the P silent? It's because of the origin in Greek and pronounced a very, very different way in English, where you don't want to enunciate your vowels and you drop certain things because of the way you pronounce.
Yeah, last question, okay? So last. It's a good question. Vivek Verma wants to know, why do the tech companies or big corporations tend to turn communist and left-leaning when their businesses are wholly based on capitalism?
So I've written a piece about this in Open Magazine, right? I think it's Open Magazine about 3-4 months back. Number one is it's different segments. You have a class that was only meant 90% of your population, more actually, about 95 to 98% of your population are meant to be peasants. Most of you, even watching this program, are probably meant to be working in fields with a slave master or a landowner whipping your back and taking away your food grains and things like that. Only 2 to 7% are meant to be in white collar jobs. Today you have a whole set of jobs which are pseudo white collar, quasi white collar jobs, tech jobs mostly, right, where you're coders and things like that, but you're essentially the proportion of pseudo white collar, quasi white collar has increased so rapidly that you now have to cater to these people who are not actually white collar. They're essentially white collar coolies who think they are actually the next Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, the same Indian complex that every Indian mother has, right? Her son got 60% in a BSc physics course, and she thinks her son is the next Albert Einstein. And she gets very offended that nobody else sees the unique genius of her son being the next Albert Einstein. That's exactly it. That Indian mother template, where every mother thinks her BSc pass son is actually Albert Einstein, that is the problem. Where every computer science graduate mother thinks that her son is the next Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, that is your problem out here. So when you have a whole bunch of resentful failures who are empowered because technology is a huge democratic tool. Today, a mobile phone is to a so-called disenfranchised quasi-white collar labor what a pitchfork and axe were to a German peasant in the 15 and 1600s. So if you read up the causes of the peasant rebellions in the 15 and 1600s, that's the exact phenomenon you're seeing today. Now, the thing is, these companies, this is a huge market. So this is a market that has to be that 2 to 7% aren't going to give you your revenue. It's your 60 to 70% in between that are going to give you your revenue. And so it's a market they have to cater to, so they turn communist. But it's a fantastic tool of corporate control. Remember that. They are mouthing off communism. But what they're doing is, because in an environment like this, the person that is most threatened is top management. So if you make everybody's life unsure, you don't know what they're going to be sacked for, what will be deemed a thought crime or politically incorrect speech or hate speech. They will all shut up, keep their heads down and focus only on their work and not do any politics outside of work. Politics is okay as long as you're blaming X, Y, Z, not as long as you're getting in the way of top management. Now, there's obviously a reduction in productivity and innovation because of it. But it's fantastic if you've got a D-grade, third-rate management to control your own company.
Yes, with that, we bring this program to an end. As always, Abhijit, we are very grateful to you for giving us 90 minutes of your valuable time. We know how busy you are. Thank you once again, viewers, for all your good questions, and keep them coming. The ones that we missed out today, we will start with those in our next episode. Thank you and namaskar.